that would allow them, correct me if I'm wrong, then, to pay in at the 40% effective relief because they're in higher income households, even though their income may be lower. Is that correct?
I'm not sure if it's been clarified how that's going to work. Yeah. So if we have one partner who is claiming relief on their own subscriptions or their own contributions and another through auto-enrolment, I'm not actually sure how that's going to work. Barry, do you?
No, but if we take what the SRI are proposing, that we would go with a standard relief.
Yes, standard relief.
I accept
so they'd be in the higher income bracket.
Causes huge confusion in relation to it. But if we maintain the existing taxation relief system, regardless of whether it's occupational pension or auto-enrolment, it would allow those people, even though they're on lower incomes, at the moment they would theoretically get the 25% top-up, but because you're saying the vast bulk of those are in households where there is substantial income coming in, they could avail of the higher rate of relief.
Some of them may be able to if they're jointly taxed with their partner. Some are young people who live at home with their parents. And again, everything's calculated on a household basis, so those individuals wouldn't be able to, but certainly partners those, who are jointly taxed would be able to claim higher relief. And again, that is points out another sort of difficulty around how somebody would get a higher benefit even though they're on the same income because one is single and one is not. So that sort of highlights the issues around it.
But again, that disproportionately benefits more women, historically anyway, would have, which is a weakness that has been flagged in relation to auto-enrolment in terms of the women with lower incomes who would not be benefiting to the same extent from the auto-enrolment.
So there would be more maybe female gain there, but actually interestingly we see those who are going to be auto-enrolled, they're mainly men, not very much of a difference, but we have more women in the public sector, so more women are already covered by a pension. So actually around 57–58% of those who are going to be auto-enrolled are men, but there would be a gain there to women who are jointly taxed and would be able to claim relief at the higher rate.
Sorry, Dr. Rowntree, and then Senator Burke, and then Deputy O'Keefe. Sorry.
Just very briefly on the issue of fees, I think that the Deputy mentioned. So I think the key thing here is that the fees that are charged are as low as possible, because we're talking about a group who we know are not particularly attentive to their kind of those pension affairs, right? And that's the reason we're doing automatic enrolments. We know that these people can put it on the back burner, and we want to default them in. So by that same kind of logic, or for the same reasons, we want to be really concerned that the fees that they will be charged in the pension are as low as possible. Now, what that number is, I can't tell you, but I think it is important that there's real emphasis on ensuring it is as low as possible, because these fees can really add up substantially, and for that reason, thinking about, and I think the next annual charge of 0.3% annual management charge gives just an idea of what is done in the UK with a similar kind of motivation. They also do have some charges on the inflow, but it's actually kind of quite complex to work out to know what mix of annual management charges and charges on the inflow equate to each other, if you get me. I think I saw in some evidence given to committee people saying, well, Nest approach works out as about 0.48, so it's about the same. Well, it kind of depends on how big the pension fund is and how the flow and sequence of those contributions. So I think that's something which would be really important to see more evidence on the basis for which that level is being set. And in a way, what you really want it set, and particularly if it is the CPA that's doing this, you want to set almost on a bottom-up basis, right? You want to kind of set on, well, these are the costs that we need to justify or that we need to cover, and so that equates to X, and that X is as low as possible. I think that's kind of the key bit. Whether that cap is 0.5% or 0.3% or whatever, the key bit is that it is as low as possible, because these fees really do stack up and can become quite a large share of people's pension savings.